And do you have any questions before I start?
No, I'm just getting extra practice in.
Okay. Yeah, I planned on just doing a couple of problems on moon phases since that's what's due today. But then if you can think of any questions you'd have for the test, I'll be glad to answer them too. So, all right, so I'm going to switch over to my document camera here. Okay. All right, so a typical moon phase question would be something like, what time does the third quarter moon rise? And we do this like we do other ones where we draw a picture. Remember, time, we're trying to figure out the time. Time is always told by where you are on the Earth with respect to the sun. So you always put the sun over here on the right. We're going to draw the Earth here. Remember, it's the North Pole of the Earth is sticking up. Okay. Now you have to just memorize the positions of the moon phase diagram. And remember, moon phase diagram, new moon's here, first quarter's up here, full moon's here, and third quarter's here. When I ask one of these problems, it'll always be one of those four. It won't be one of the ones in between. Okay? Because if you say a crescent phase, it's anywhere in between there. But when you say first, full, or third quarter, you know exactly where it is. So in this case, it's a third quarter moon. So I'm going to put the moon here. This is third quarter phase. Okay. Now this is the part that's the tricky part. You got to figure out where Herb is on the Earth so that the first quarter moon is rising. Rising means it's in the east. If it's setting, it's in the west. And if it's on the meridian, it's directly over your head. So we have four choices for Herb. He can be here, 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 or here. Yeah. And the only thing you have to do is you have to figure out from each of these positions, remember this is time, so let's ignore the moon now. This time right here, when the sun's directly overhead, this is noon. Remember the Earth spins counterclockwise. So up here is 6 p.m., 1/4 of the day, or 6 hours later. Over here is midnight. And down here is 6 a.m. All right, so what I do is I pick whichever Herb I think, and if it's not right, we just pick a different one. But if I'm going to pick a Herb, I'm going to pick this Herb right over here at midnight. Why? Because what I do then is I draw a line at his feet on the Earth, and that's his horizon. And the direction that is pointing in the way that the Earth rotates, so the Earth is spinning this way, is going to be to the east because the Earth rotates to the east. So east is down if you're at midnight, and west is up. Well, then I look down and I say, oh, the moon is at the bottom towards the east, so it is rising in the east at midnight. So the answer to this would be midnight. Notice if I had picked a different one, let's say I picked Herb at noon. Okay, and I drew the line at his feet like this. Remember, it's spinning this way, so east would be up, west would be down. And so the third quarter moon would be setting at noon. But the question asked if it's rising at noon, you would say, oh, well, that's not the right one. So if you're not sure, you could just try all four until you find the one that has east pointing towards the moon. All right. If you have any questions, just holler. Now I can ask this a different way. Instead of asking what time, I can say what phase is the moon if it rises at 6 p.m. All right, I'm going to do this exactly the same way I did the other ones. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the sun over here. I'm going to put the Earth here. The North Pole sticking up. Now the difference is I don't know where the moon is because I don't know what phase it's in. That tells us where the moon is. That's what I'm trying to find. But we do know it rises, so it has to be in the east. And we know what time it is. It's 6 p.m. So if I know what time it is, then I know where Herb is. Remember, noon is this way, 6 p.m. is up here. So here's Herb at 6 p.m. Okay, those will never change. Noon is always going to be over here. Midnight's always going to be over here. And 6 a.m. is always down here. Okay, so if it's 6 p.m. here, I do exactly what I did before. I draw a line at his feet with 2 arrows on it. And I have to figure out which way is east and which way is west. And you do that by saying, oh, the Earth is spinning counterclockwise. So it's always going this way, and it always spins to the east. So that's east, this is west. Now this makes sense because at 6 p.m., where's the sun? Well, the sun is in the west because the sun is starting to set at 6 p.m. But we want to know what's rising then, so we look to the east, and so the east, oh, that means the moon has to be over here. And if the moon's over here, it has to be a full moon. So the answer is full moon. All right, there's one other way I can ask these kind of questions. Just going to screw it down here. I can say, where in the sky is the third quarter moon at noon? So when it asks this, where in the sky, we have 3 choices. It's either going to be rising, setting, or on the meridian. Yeah. But we do it exactly the same way. We put a sun here. We put the moon here. I'm sorry. We put the Earth here. What am I doing? Yeah. And we know what time it is. It says what time is noon. So that means that Herb has to have the sun directly over his head. So Herb is there at noon. And the third quarter moon is down here. Remember, first a new moon, first quarter, full, third quarter. Just have those memorized. I do the same thing. I draw a line at Herb's feet. And I say, oh, the Earth is spinning this way. East must be up, west is down. So the moon, where's the moon? The moon, third quarter moon is setting. Or you could say in the west. Means the same thing. All right, that's how you do moon problems. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I kind of I kind of logged on a little bit late, but when you say it's setting and Earth is rotating from west to east, that means that at Herb's feet, as the moon goes in its rotation, it's leaving. I mean, as the Earth moves in its rotation, it's leaving her. It's leaving, or the Earth is turning away from the moon. Am I right?
Correct. Yep. That's what makes things rise and set. Is when the Earth rotates, right? It's either going to make it come into view or go out of view.
Okay.
So yes, you're right. Everything rising is in the east because that's the direction the Earth rotates. The Earth spins to the east.
Everything is rising in the east.
Yep, everything rises in the east and sets in the west.
In the west.
And the other thing you need to remember is that the Earth spins counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise.
So opposite of a clock. So when we're looking at it with the North Pole sticking up, which is what we do in our diagrams here, the Earth is spinning this way.
Right.
So wherever you put Herb, you know, one of these 4 spots, if you put Herb here, we're going to put the sun over here. So this is Herb. Then which way is east and which way is west?
East is going to be to the right.
Well, you don't have right. It's either up or down. It has to be
up
here.
Or down. Oh, okay. East is going to be. East will be to your left, wouldn't it?
No, there's no, east is going to be up or down. See, this is Herb right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if Herb's right here, and I draw this line, one end of the line is east, one end is west.
Right.
Okay, and how do you know which is which? You know because the Earth is spinning counterclockwise, right? That's why I drew the arrows. That's the way the Earth spins, right?
Right. It's spinning from west to east.
Right. So it's spinning towards the east. So that way has to be up. So up has to be east. Down has to be west.
Okay.
What if I put Herb over here? So I'm going to draw the line at his feet again. So now on this arrow, which side is east and which side is west?
Up is west and down is east.
Exactly. What if I put Herb here?
East will be left, west will be right.
Which way is the Earth spinning?
Counterclockwise, east to west.
So it's spinning this way. You see the arrow's going over to this one, so this would
east will be right.
Yeah, east would be right.
Where's that? Right.
Which makes sense because down here this is 6 a.m. And if Herb's here, the sun's going to be in the east. It's going to be rising in the east. That's when the sun rises approximately.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and what about Herb up here?
East would be left.
Correct. East would be this way, west would be this way because the Earth is spinning this way. So notice east rotates around and west rotates around depending on where Herb is or depending on what time of day it is.
Right.
All right. Now with moon phases, you just add the moon phases to that and see how they come together. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to do another one?
Yes.
Let me do another problem. What time does the first quarter moon set? All right, we're going to do this the same exact way. I'm going to put the sun over here. I'm going to put the Earth here, North Pole sticking up. Now, in this case, we know where the moon is because it says the first quarter moon. And the first quarter moon is going to be up here. Just have that memorized. Remember, it's new moon, first quarter, full, and third quarter. So this is the first quarter moon up here. All right, now you got.
Where's the new moon in the south?
The new moon is between the Earth and the sun.
Okay.
So the new moon is here. The first quarter is here. Full moon is over here, and third quarter is here.
Third quarter's, yeah.
Would be down, right? All right. So which one of these 4 do you think would have the first quarter moon setting? What does setting mean?
That means that it's going down. That means the Earth is turning away from it.
Yeah. So is it in the east or the west?
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh, it's going to be in the west.
West. Good. Yeah. So we have to find where Herb has west pointing towards the moon. So remember this diagram where we showed all 4 of them?
Right.
So which herb do you want to try?
The top one,
Right here?
right there.
All right, what if we put herb here? We're going to draw the line this way, right?
Right.
All right, and the earth is spinning that way.
Right.
Which way's east and west here?
East is to the left and west is to the right.
Okay. So west is pointing this way towards the sun. But where's the moon?
The moon is
The moon's up here, right?
right.
So it's not in the west, is it?
No, it's in the south.
No, it's in,
No.
yeah, it's over his head. It's on the meridian,
Over
right?
his head.
Yeah, so that's the wrong herb.
That's the wrong herb. Okay.
Pick a different one. So we want one that west points towards the first quarter moon.
Okay. How about if you put him on the left side?
Okay, so you want to put him here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to draw the line again.
Uh-huh.
Earth is spinning this way, counterclockwise.
Right.
Which way's east? Which way's west?
East is at the bottom of the arrow and west is at the top.
Hey, look, you did it right because west is now pointing towards
The moon. Right.
So what time is it when Herb's there?
It's midnight.
Midnight. That's the answer. Is that making more sense?
Yeah, it does now.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Should we try one more?
Sure.
Let's say what phase sets at 6 a.m.? We should say what moon phase sets at 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Same picture, sun here, moon here, Earth here.
Right, right.
We don't know where to put the moon because we don't know what the phase is yet. That's what we're going to try to figure out, right?
And you say what moon phase sets at 6 a.m., right?
Right. So where's Herb at 6 a.m.?
Herb is going to be on the noon side of the moon.
No, we're on the Earth. There's no moon yet, right?
On the Earth. He's on the noon side of the Earth.
Now, if it was here, if he was here, this would be noon, right?
Right.
Where's he at 6 a.m.? He's got to be one of these 4 spots.
No. Oh, okay. He's gonna be at the bottom.
Yes. This is always 6 a.m. down here.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, just memorize this. This is noon. This is 6 p.m. This is midnight. That never changes, right?
Right.
So 6 a.m. is always going to be down there. So that's where I'm going to put her because it says 6 a.m.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm going to draw that line at his feet. And the Earth is spinning counterclockwise.
Mm-hmm.
Which way's east? Which way's west?
East is to the right, west is to the left.
Correct. And where's the moon?
It's going to be in full moon phase.
It is. See, you're getting this. This makes sense, doesn't it?
It makes more and more sense the more you work it out.
Yeah, exactly. The more you practice.
Uh-huh.
The key is the time. Remember what time it is,
Right.
where Herb is here. What phase the moon is where it is in its orbit.
Right. And
Okay.
where the Earth is rotating gives you an indication of what time the moon is setting or rising.
Right. So yeah, the line at Herb's feet always tells you which way is east and west.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. Any other questions?
Not on that.
Do you have questions on anything?
Yeah, I probably need to send you an email. But
You can do that if you want.
yeah, I work 12-hour nights. and I was a little bit behind, and I was wondering how could I catch that up or make it up.
I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't know how far behind or what you're doing. Now we do have a test on Thursday.
Right.
So you need to take the first test.
Okay, this is the first test. What chapters are we testing on?
Well, we're testing on up through eclipses. So I go over here. All right, I'm going to switch my screen here
Okay.
so you can see.
You say that's Thursday?
Thursday, yep. And you can take it anytime on Thursday. It'll open at 7 a.m. and ends at midnight. Once you start, you have exactly 1 hour to finish it.
Okay.
All right, so you can see my screen now right now, right?
Where it says Fall 2020 Solar System?
Yep.
Right.
All right, so that's the class. That's what you should see. Mine might look a little different because I'm the instructor, but it'll be similar, right?
Okay.
So if you go over here to content on the top,
Mm-hmm.
for the first test, it's going to cover all the stuff down here through eclipses.
Okay.
So all those are going to be on the first test. And
Okay.
if you go here into the test one review
Mm-hmm.
and click on this here, it gives you a listing of all the topics that will be covered. It's just kind of an outline, but at least you know what all the topics are.
Okay. Then I can just go back and read and go through whatever notes I have. And
Right. And your notes should have come off of watching all the videos through these parts, right?
right.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to catch up on those as soon as we log off.
Yeah. Make sure you've watched all those because all the questions on the test come from the videos.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what will be on the test. Now the test is going to have, there'll be some pictures that you have to just identify what the picture is.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be a bunch of multiple choice questions, like about 20 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be 4 of these like problems, like we were just doing, like a moon phase problem, latitude problem, a longitude problem, like you did on all the homeworks.
Okay.
I essentially take like one problem off each of the homeworks and put it on the test.
Okay.
So when you do the test, you will also have to upload your pictures.
Right.
So the test you'll find under quizzes. Yeah, you're going to see stuff that you won't see. You won't see anything, but the test will show up on Thursday. It won't show up otherwise.
Okay.
Okay. And that's where you'll find it. But when you go to upload the material, so you're going to have to draw the pictures like I just drew.
Right.
And you're going to upload that under here under test 1 work.
Okay. I think I did that for one of those assignments.
You did. If you did these assignments, you had to upload the work too. And in fact, the one that's due today, you have to upload the work. So it's the same thing.
Okay.
You just have to do it for the test.
Now, is it possible, because I see that the links for the homework assignments, I can still turn those in, right?
No, the dates are gone. Now you can email me.
Okay.
And I can reopen it for you, but no, they were due on a certain date. Once the due date's done, you can't turn them in, but you can email me. However, I do have this requirement that they all have to be in before the test. So you got 2 days.
Okay. So how about if I email them to you when I emailed you? That way you don't have to put the link back up.
That'll work too.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I desperately need to get caught up. I've had to work. We've had deaths and sickness in the family, so I've been really distracted. But I said to myself, it's time to get back in the saddle and ride the horse on out.
Yeah. Now there were quizzes every Friday, which I can't reopen because I already put the answers out there.
Right.
But you can do the homework still if you haven't done that yet.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are there any other questions? Jaden, do you have any questions?
Yes, for the meridian, when the moon crosses directly above Herb, is that when it crosses the meridian?
Correct. So here, let me go back to one of these. So if you see this one like down here,
Mm-hmm.
and moon phase sets at 6 a.m. But if I said, instead of that, I said, let me just do a different problem. Let's do one like, what time is it if the full moon is on the meridian? All right, we're gonna do this the same way. Here's the Earth, Sun, Earth. And now we know where the moon is because it's a full moon. That means the moon has to be over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the meridian just means it's over Herb's head. So in this case, this is the easiest one because you have to figure out where Herb is going to be, right?
Right.
Well, if you say over Herb, when it's on the meridian, you say, oh, well, then the moon has to be directly above Herb. You would just put Herb right here.
Right.
Okay. So when you have this, and we do it this way, this would be east, this would be west. The moon can be in 3 different spots for one specific time. It can either be rising in the east on his meridian or setting in the west, depending on what phase it is in.
Okay.
Okay. So in this case, your answer would be midnight because it's directly over his head.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I do have to warn you that the first test, which is Thursday, is usually the hardest test. So don't panic if you don't do real well on it, because as you go on through the semester, students tend to do better as the semester goes on. I think.
Let me ask you a question. When we refer to the position of the moon at any time in any question, even the problems we've already heard, is not the moon always on the meridian?
For a specific time, it's on the meridian.
Okay.
So right here, like on this one, at midnight, the full moon's on his meridian, right?
Overhead, straight overhead.
But at 6 p.m., the full moon is not on his meridian, is it?
No.
No, it would be in the east. It would be just rising at 6 p.m. So it depends on what time it is, whether it's rising over the meridian or setting.
Okay.
If you look here, if I put Herb down here and I draw this one, east is this way, west is this way.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, the full moon is setting.
Right.
So it depends on what time it is, where the moon is in the sky.
So is it safe to say, or is it incorrect to say, the moon is only on the meridian either at midnight or at noon?
No, at noon you wouldn't even see the moon, right? Because the Earth is in the way. So for any particular phase, in this case, the full moon, it's only on the meridian at midnight.
Okay. Okay.
So it's only once during the day is it on the meridian.
Okay.
And it depends on what phase it is, what time that is.
Yeah, that answers that question. Thank you. Because it can be confusing if you're not used to astronomy and you hear the terminologies and you see the position of the moon. You would think that maybe it was there twice in 24 hours, but it's actually on the meridian once in 24 hours, right?
Right, because the Earth rotates 24 hours, right? So it takes one whole day to get back to the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Yeah, it can only happen once per day.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and that's why on the quizzes and stuff, I do a lot of definitions. What do these words mean? Because if I'm throwing out words like meridian and declination, and you don't know what those mean, you're not going to have a clue what I'm talking about.
Right.
So yeah, it's critical to learn the vocabulary.
Okay.
And when you do these problems like this, do it exactly the way I do it. I find students try to do it their own way and it always falls apart. So just do it the way I do it. Do the way I do it in examples and do the way I do it in the videos.
Okay.
It's the same thing. If you do it that way, it'll work out. You'll do fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question?
Not yet.
No more questions from me. And thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Jane.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. And I will post this video, so if you want to check it later, or if you forget, or you're like, oh, I didn't understand, you can look at it again.
Okay, yes, sir.
So are we done already?
I guess so. I just lost you, so
Oh, I'm
email
sorry.
me if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Montgomery.
Okay,
Good to be back on.
great. Good
All
luck.
right. Thank you. Take care.